Hello, once again. It's me, Joe. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to be positive and how not to let the bad things that happen in life affect you because that could also determine what the outcome could be. So, I'm going to give you a prime example. Let's say, for example, that you bought your car and your car costs $16,000. If your car costs $16,000 and then you paid for, let's say, about 3 years or whatever, and you had it down to where you only owed maybe $3,000 or $4,000 left on your car payments, but then all of a sudden you defaulted, maybe because you mismanaged your money, or maybe because you lost your job, or whatever the case may be, your car got repossessed. Now, because your car got repossessed, now you're depressed and you're sad and you're upset you lost all that money, and apart you lost your car. So that could sort of start to spiral down, meaning that, for example, if you get depressed about it because you lost your car or because you lost the money, then next thing you know, you think about it so hard that it depresses you, and then you become sad. If you become sad and you get depressed, of course it's going to cause you to get sick. So next thing you know, you're in the hospital, and if you're in the hospital too long, you're going to end up building up a lot of bills that you owe for hospital bills. Apart from that, if you had a job and you were in the hospital for that long, you weren't working, so obviously you didn't make money to pay your rent. So the next thing you know, you're being evicted from your apartment because you didn't pay your rent. The next thing you know, you're back living with mom and dad or a family member or a friend, but eventually, all because you let things spiral down. Versus if you start thinking positive, yes, I lost my car and I lost $13,000 of it, and I no longer have a car or the money. But the thing is, you know, at the time you were paying, let's say, $300 car payment, 130 for insurance, and then gas. So there was a lot of stuff that you were paying. That if you try to be positive, you're like, okay, well, if I get a bus pass, it's $30, so I'm not paying the $300 car payment, the 130 for insurance, or all that gas money. You're pretty much make transportation for yourself pretty cheap. Instead of being a few $100s, it's no more than $30 or so. So right there, if you start thinking positive, like, you could ride a bike, you could walk, you could get a bus pass, you can get a ride from friends. I mean, there's other ways. You've done it before when you didn't have a car. So instead of being all depressed and let things spiral down, you need to like be positive, move forward. So let's say, for example, you don't want this to happen again, and you do get a bus pass. The positive parts that, like I said, you're saving on insurance, you're saving on a car payment, you're saving on gas. But for that whole year, what you used to pay before for that car payment, for that insurance, or for that gas, start saving it as if you still had those payments. And then by the end of the year, you should have enough money to be able to buy a car cash, or, you know, be able to keep moving forward versus spiraling down, because you won't be evicted from your apartment because you still went and worked and you still paid your rent and so forth. But apart from that, the other good thing about that is that if you did save that money, you can choose to buy a car cash worth 16,000 or 24,000 or whatever the case may be, or you could also go get a car that's new but used, because sometimes, for example, the car that you got, it was a 4 years in payments, and as soon as you took it off the lot, it lost value. So therefore, somebody else had the same car that you had, but they got it used. It was still new but used. They didn't get it off the lot. So for example, they paid $3,000 and it was paid off right there and then. Well, they already owned theirs, even though they got their car after you're still giving payments on yours. So my point is right there, if you paid $3,000 for a car that you paid $16,000 for, you just save money. So when you're barely starting off, you don't necessarily need a brand spanking new car. You just need something that looks good and is reliable, until you work your way up to what you really want. But you know that your car is good for you if it's making you money. So if you bought the car for $3,000 and it lasted you 2 years, it pretty much well paid itself. It paid itself off. Sorry, I just got a little nervous. um, so the point is, if you learn to find the positive in the negative, you can tend to be more successful. So don't let things bring you down, because everything happens for a reason. Thank you and have a great day.